Standing emergency. Standing emergency.
My mom and Daddy are having a fight.
Is she hitting her?
Stop it! Send the police, please.
Okay, we're going to be there. We're taking your hand.
The Plano Police Department responds to family violence calls on a daily basis. Hope Store is the main organization that we use in family violence situations to help us try to house victims of family violence.
Each individual case is different.
Bueno, tenía 4 años viviendo con mi esposo.
Well, I lived with my husband for 4 years. All the time it was mistreatment, abuse, verbal abuse, and also he hit me. And well, I thought it was normal.
Yo pensaba que era normal.
I am the oldest of 3 daughters. I grew up in a household where domestic violence was very prevalent. Up until the age of 10, I saw a lot of abuse going into my home. Because of the abuse, unfortunately, I lost a sister to it. My mother stayed in the relationship. She had nowhere to go. She didn't have a Hope Store.
It actually, on average, takes a woman 7 times before she successfully leaves her abuser.
So to ask for help, if you don't even want to admit it to yourself that you need it, that's step 1. So my step 1 was when I finally realized that this is where I lose it, because I'm strong in the sense of talking about it, but the reason why my moment to leave, unlike most women who it's the physical blow that makes them go, for me it was the emotional one, because the year prior I was 40 years old and going to have my first baby, and I lost her.
It's occurring in every zip code, every socioeconomic area of our community.
My $1 million question was, I wanted to know why. I would like to say that I'm smart, I'm educated, I had a profession. Why did that happen?
Hope Store nos ayudan.
Hope Store helps us and gives us counseling for my children and for myself, and encourages us to keep moving forward. They tell us that we can make it and that we have no need to depend on these abusive people.
Personas abusivas.
And it's about a 30-day stay at the shelter where they can compose themselves, identify the situation, and come out of the denial to understand that it is not their fault.
Pues sí, cuando estuve en el refugio, sí, tuve oportunidad.
When I was in the shelter, I met a woman who had been there at shelter several times. And so I realized that I was not the only one that was in an abusive situation.
In Collin County alone, there was about 12,000 incidents of domestic violence last year. 12,000 incidents. We have 21 beds in our emergency shelter.
A short-term goal of Hope Store was for awareness. But you always have to be careful because when you ask for that, you may get it. And now we have the awareness. We're over-flooded with victims that need care and emergency shelter.
So we actually have to turn away as many as we accommodate each year. But it's heartbreaking when you have to say there's no room at the inn.
Dealing with these domestic violence issues is critical, not just to the victims, but to the entire community. Send a clear message that domestic violence is unacceptable, period.
We're very lucky to have Hope Store and other agencies to assist, but we need to make sure that we keep those resources viable, because without those, it'd be very difficult for us to handle and treat victims of family violence appropriately.
So what we need is to expand our shelter. We currently can only accommodate 21 women and children that are in need. And our goal at Hope Store is to be able to double our capacity and service over 40 women and children every day so that we don't have to turn them away.
If it wasn't for Hope Store and other organizations that help us women, well, there would be lots of dead women. And I would possibly be dead as well.
Y quizás yo también estuviera muerta.
Without Hope Store.
And he took a gun to school and threatened her at school with it. And eventually showed up at a party where she was at and took her to his house, and he shot her and shot himself. It's not a phone call that you ever want to receive. It's not something that you ever forget. Domestic violence is not a pretty thing at all.